Good evening. I'm Reverend Connie Walker, and I would like to welcome you to the Home Center's Wednesday evening service. Some of you may wonder about the title of our chapel here, Home Center. If you note, home has a period after each of the letters in that word, and it's an acronym that stands for Helping Ourselves Master Every Day. We are a community committed to healing and spiritual learning here at the Home Center. So welcome. Let us begin now with an opening prayer. I know I am the divine creation of God, and I recognize that the Creator God as the source of all that is. The earth is the divine creation of God, and all that exists is the divine creation of God. Knowing it is now the time of a new beginning, a new creation here on earth, I am choosing to co-create with God and my fellow human beings a new world, a new reality, a world of love, light, peace, and understanding. Unifying with my fellow human family, we speak in one voice our intent to bring this creation into this now moment. Recognizing this creation is now accomplished, we express our gratitude. We have a new world of love, light, peace, and understanding that we now behold. It is here, it is done, amen. This evening, before I go into my message, I just want to talk to you a little bit about kind of an interesting occurrence that we've spoken of here at the Home Center, and that is seeing numbers in sequences of 3 digits, oftentimes on phones or signs. And you may see these repeating often throughout your day or for days even. Well, today I noticed as I was getting lunch ready that my clock in the kitchen read 111. Later in the day I noted that it read 444. So I decided to go back and look these up again because I have had this happen before. The 111 says, your angels are telling you to be very aware of your thoughts, because they are manifesting very quickly into your reality right now. The 444, the angels are telling us, you are on the right path and you are protected. Very good messages. This evening I'm going to talk to you about strength training for our soul. As humans walk their evolutionary path to spiritual maturity, they go through a program that I call strength training for their souls. Every experience they have is a lesson in disguise. Many of these experiences are tests given to us to strengthen our connection to our soul, and thus to the creative source. I feel what we are seeing taking place at the present time is such a test. There is a need now to get off that merry-go-round wheel that we've been on for eons and away from the idea of what goes round comes round. History does not have to repeat itself. We are the creators of our reality. Humanity can choose to recognize there is no need for this to repeat. Why? Because there is only this present moment in which we create our next moments. Looking to the past is therefore futile. If we are to move forward, We have to let go of that past. And it was interesting to go back to my day again. I got a message that came through a woman named Sophia Love from an entity that calls himself One. And it said, consider always what is before you rather than behind. It will empower your thoughts and energize your responses and amplify your actions. As we can choose to take responsibility for the part we play in creating our world. You might ask, how can I be responsible for this creation, especially when you look out there today at what's going on out there? The answer lies in the word one. All humanity is part of one energy field of consciousness. We refer to this as God, Creator, Spirit, and all that is, and a number of other names. Your awareness of this truth often lies very deep in the subconscious mind until such a time as an awakening and a release of this comes into the conscious, everyday mind of the self. There is a saying that is being bounced around in the media, where we go one, we go all. This saying was found on the side of John F. Kennedy Jr.'s yacht. What I believe it means is whatever the strongest thought that is held in the minds of the collective of humankind is where we tend to all follow. That is particularly if we're being like the term sheeple. We all have a mind. We all have a choice. We don't have to always follow the crowd. Our challenge, our soul test is, can we choose to see what we have created in our present is a mistake, mistake on the reality that we truly would like to have and experience. I believe that we can make that choice. I personally would choose a loving, caring world over a fearful, controlled world. Can we hold to our dream, our vision of a new earth? I feel we can. We could say yes to new ways, and we can choose to let the old ways be discarded and return to the universal energy pool for reuse. To hold tight to this new vision, that is taking form right now, we have to let go of those doubts and those fears from our mind. To do so requires discipline, staying firmly grounded, and having faith and trust that it can be as we desire. We are birthing this new world, this new reality. This was something that Reverend Madge talked about, having a vision about, that we are birthing this new reality. Let us hold this truth in spite of all outer appearances. Use all the strength you have gained as you have grown along this evolutionary path to thrust your way forward in helping all to move onward into our new creation. In her book, Millennium, Tools for the Coming Changes, Lisa Royal has a section entitled Outside Influence. I'd like to share some of what she has to say. There has been a lot of fear-inducing material published about some sort of mind control that comes through televisions, cell phones, computers, I can remember there was a time when we were absolutely certain that the U.S. Embassy in, I think it was Moscow, it was in Russia someplace, was being bombarded by these rays that could disrupt the mind. And recently I was having this conversation with my brother. When he brought this up, he'd heard about this, that how they were controlling us through the television sets, and he was worried about it. What Lisa has to say about this is, if you believe the information that you can be controlled by dark forces through your electrical devices or any other means, you have chosen, whether it be that virus, it be radiation, it be the government, whatever, then you have chosen the role of victim, and your reality will rearrange itself to validate your belief that you are a victim. I think that's where that law of attraction might come in. Because remember, we have an energy that we create with our thoughts. Energy pulls to it like energy. Your reality is entirely self-reinforced by the choices you make. So choose your beliefs carefully, lest you create the very thing you fear. I sure got that message earlier about the 111 telling me to be aware of my thoughts. If a person truly believes that they create their reality, that no one can be a victim, then they cannot hold to the idea that something outside their self can have an effect on them. It must be that one either holds a belief that they have an inner power, or they believe in the power of external forces. They can't have both. They can't believe that there's something out here that forces us to do things, and believe that we have the power to create anything. They are incompatible. When I was writing that down, this song that Kinder had chosen when we had our first graduating class from the H.O.M.E Academy had the words in it, I have the power, we have the power. And that's what came into my mind. Yes, we all have the power. It's all up to us to choose. If one holds the belief of being a victim, then anything can get to them. This goes to the law of attraction again. I can remember reading a story a number of years back about a woman's faith. She was abducted in a parking lot by somebody that was not going to do her good at all. And yet she held very strongly to the faith that all would go well. I don't remember exactly what she said to her attacker, but he got out of the car and left without doing her any harm whatsoever. I believe we have that power. We just have to call upon it. In dealing with victimization, when taking in information that is fearful, there is always the choice given as to how you will handle it. We always have free will. As you grow in the strength of your soul and your spiritual understanding, you will understand about this power you have to create the reality. And being a victim will no longer claim you. You will never be affected by anything outside yourself unless you choose to believe you can. No TV, computer, or government with a sinister plot creates darkness. Darkness is created through one's own unrecognized fears. Going inward and asking for guidance in locating and dealing with your fears is a form of strength training for the human soul. It can be a difficult training process. I know looking at my own fears has not been an easy thing, and challenging them and changing the way I think, that's not an easy path that we are on. But choices are definitely a part in our strength training of the soul. A while back I read an article by Carolyn Mice on YouTube, and she was talking about making choices. And she had a few things that I think are relevant to mention. She said, when deciding to live in integrity, which means having moral uprightness, one needs to be loyal to one's preferred choices. However, in stating them, they need to realize they may not always be agreed to by others. Others have free will to make their own choices about everything as well. And another thing she said is, I will not pass on my suffering. I will only pass on my wisdom. And I thought, ask yourself, what wisdom have I gained in experiencing this suffering? What have we gained recently in what we've been going through? Because it caused suffering for a lot of people. She also talks, of course, about this in regards to health issues. She has a word for repeatedly telling your story over and over again about some health issue or some operation or some horrible thing that misfell you. She calls it woundology. And we've often given a prayer up here that was put together by James O'Day. One of the parts of it is to release your wounds, to release your wounds. That's what's happening right now in our world. The world is going through releasing all these old wounds that we have. As we all move forward along our evolutionary path to mastery of ourselves, we will encounter ongoing strength training for our individual souls. How we choose to embrace the challenges of this training is totally up to each person. I'd like to go now into meditation. So, for all of you that are joining me from your homes, if you'd like to, you can take and become comfortable wherever you're seated. Close your eyes. And let's take in a few deep breaths together. I also like to use 3 ohms. Om. 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 I'll ask you now to place your attention at your heart center in your upper chest. Here, visualize a ball of radiant golden light for me. We're going to let this light move into every single cell of our body. We are totally and completely filled with this golden light. Now see this light radiating out from your being to join with everyone in the world's lights. And as we do this, you can visualize like our whole world little lights going on all over, creating this radiant ball of golden light. This is causing an awakening, the opening to the knowledge that we are the light of this world. Each one of us is contributing to this beautiful, radiant light. This light goes out from our world into the solar system, into the universe, into the galaxy, and beyond. We are the creators of the new earth, a place of love, light, peace, and understanding. And as we come into that, we help all that is become more, greater. And so it is. Amen. We can now come back into the room where we are seated. I want to say thank you all for joining us this evening here at the Home Center. Know you are always welcome to come back to this site each Sunday and Wednesday until we can once again meet together in person. So I wish you all a very good evening.